Hi, I've got quite a few things to say about a lot of things going on in America right now. There's a lot of topics to pick on, and there's a lot of different sides to take. But there was one thing that caught me recently that seems to go right to the heart of the matter of what's going on in America, and possibly how one little old person, anonymous and insignificant like you or me, might be able to do about things. Let's first, I wanted to show you just briefly on this commercial here. Don't know if you've seen it, but it's the one where from Tide, and the mom lies to the daughter. It's pretty sad. So if we take a look at that commercial.
Mom, did you borrow my green shirt?
It's not really my style, honey.
Weird, I can't find it.
Hey, you found it.
Yeah, it must have been hiding in my closet.
My question is how gullible are we? I mean, how gullible can you be? This commercial by Tide, which was put out last month, it's called Closet Raid. And I find it fascinating that the mother actually lies to the daughter. You know, what shirt? Not my style, which I thought was pretty insidious in itself because the mother actually is implying that her daughter has bad taste or something like that. So she actually insults her daughter after stealing and lying to her. I have to ask, though, if the mother is ever going to be curious or what she would do if her daughter stole and lied. But are we always so easy to fool? Because I can see the play on the commercial where the old thing used to be the daughter would steal from the mother's closet and to just flip it over and say, okay, let's have mom steal it. And some people are asking, what's so wrong with that? And I have a real problem with people asking, what's so wrong with that? So there's a lot of things going on in America, and I want to provide the prevention to things. And the answer comes in with 5 words. So it's not a hard way to go about finding real solutions to real problems. And I'm just going to throw some words out here, but they really are important. And if you keep aware of them, I think you'll start seeing a difference, especially at home. The first one is corrupt. Corrupt is a word we don't throw around or use casually because it means pretty bad things. It's usually a judgment of character and a type of person that you don't want to trust. So corrupt doesn't need a whole lot of explanation, but as you can see, I've put out a whole bunch of different definitions from the dictionary.com unabridged version. The next word is concept. Some people have trouble with concepts. A concept is an idea, and people have a lot of them. And some of them are very creative, and some of them are pretty stupid. Consequence. This is one of my favorite words because everybody thinks consequence is a bad word because consequences are always bad. But I'm here to tell you that consequences can be good. Sometimes there's actually good consequences. A consequence is a result of something. Be it good or bad, consequence, it's a result. The last word here on the C words is circumstance. Circumstance, we have some control. In other words, am I saving money for retirement so will I have cash later? That circumstance is something I do have control over, but most circumstances, many circumstances, we do not have control over. We cannot control the weather. We cannot control other people. We cannot control what what some people would call serendipity or fate or coincidence, that kind of thing. So circumstances are that extra little factor that gets added to life that makes things challenging. Now, the fifth and final word I want to point out to you is the big bad word, judgment. So many people get hung up on this word. Thou shalt not judge is what people preach and say. And that's true. But I want to point out that there's 2 distinct meanings to judgment and possibly a better word for one of them. The good form of judgment, and what I'm trying to portray or get across, is the term discernment. We all must learn how to make judgments or discern between yes, no, right, wrong. We have to choose. This type of judgment is necessary all the time, every day, every minute of life. Do you date this guy or not? Do you go out with this girl or not? Do you get married? Do you have children? Do you buy a house? Do you take this job? This is where good judgment, or I like the word discernment because that kind of takes the stigma off the term judgment. That's the meaning for this one. The second meaning of the word judgment is what we as normal people or regular everyday life don't do unless you're a paid judge to sit on the bench and make a ruling. Parents, especially of young children, they must play judge and jury. But when the 4-year-old steals or lies, it's important for the parent to come out with some kind of bad consequence. Is it no playtime at the playground this week, or no sleepover, no dessert, something? The next thing I want to tell you is one of my first rules of life is to always, always, always consider the source. So therefore, with that in mind, who am I? My name is Deborah Elliott, and I'm currently a student at Kaplan University, and this is the final project speech for my public speaking class. You can go out and check me out. I'm DeborahElliott.com, or my pen name, which is a lot of what people know me by, is Dorothea Firerose. Because of this class, and because of the Durham, North Carolina College, they provided some information that Kaplan hooked up with and linked and provided me in this public speaking course. Because the big aha factor was I found the answer. I've been going nuts. What is wrong with America? Can't Americans discern anymore what's going on with things? And I found out why we're so gullible, why so many thousands and thousands of people are just joining bandwagons without thinking, without researching, without reading. They're just letting people tell them what to think. They're letting people play on their emotions, and it's getting confusing. So the quote I found is by Aristotle, and basically it's saying to play on people's emotions in ways that make them mindless of concepts and consequences can corrupt the judgment of both individuals and the community. Boy, that sounds exactly like what's happening now. People's judgment has been so corrupted because for the last decade, at least, there's been two driving factors of things. If I keep playing on emotions, show you puppy dogs, show you, oil-covered birds, and never supply any facts, that's what we call dogma. It's just my opinion, and we all know what they say about opinions. So unless someone's actually giving you some facts, they're going around just doing the bad part of judgment. They're just blaming. They're not trying to solve any problems. An old adage in business is don't come to your boss with the problem unless you have a solution in hand. And that thing's been completely forgotten. That's what's not being done with all the mouths these days and the loud voices. Just because they shout the loudest doesn't mean they're the right. So by playing on people's emotion like fear, be afraid, be afraid, be afraid, that gets old after a while. It also starts to wear on you, and it also starts to corrupt your ability to discern. Confusion. That's another thing that has been sending people over the edge. And they're both, you take fear and confusion, and people are like, those are the reasons we need to do something. No, 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 no. You talk about getting really tangled up. Fear and confusion are not reasons to decide anything. Fear and confusion are warning signs that maybe something needs to be done or not. But they're warning signs. They are not reasons. But yet they've been the two strongest reasons that we have made almost every decision in our nation for the last 10 years. If you're mindless of concepts and of the consequences, you will have corrupted judgment. And that's what I see happening today. People are just blaming. I blame you. I blame you. Everybody's to blame. Nothing's my fault. But I'm not going to tell you any good solutions, and I'm not going to change my behavior, and I'm not going to stop, look, and listen and read. I'll just blame. You know what I've discovered about people that do that? They're the laziest folks going. And as long as I can blame you, I don't have to take any responsibility. Talk about a cop-out. You know what I'm saying? So stop compromising. Robert Frost said it best, was it ever less than treason than to go with the drift of things? Just go along with things, don't stand up. We see the consequences and the results of just hanging out and doing absolutely nothing about things. So what can you do? What can one person like you or I do? Well, in my case, I emailed these guys. I told them what I thought. They emailed me back. They told me to rest assured that marketing would get it. Now, this is just a silly soap commercial. Keep in mind the 5 words, the concepts, take the time to learn the concepts. Take the time to think through consequences. Now, use good judgment. Know when to have discernment and know when to back off. People have to live their own lives and they have to make their own mistakes. And when you're being ruled by fear and confusion, that's the time to really stop, look, and listen. And make sure that, as you start seeing and hearing things from different people and different things, what real facts are they standing on? And what real information are they giving you? Or are they just playing on your emotions? Keep the sunshine going. Keep your good judgment. And life will improve. And best of all, don't give up. Keep your faith and keep your courage, because there's reasons this country's called the home of the brave.